Here's your sink.
It's our sink, brother.
This is my sink. This is your sink.
This sink is my sink. This
sink is your sink.
From the Great Depression to the New York City.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what comes after this land is my land. This land is your land.
I'm pretty sure it's locations. It's like from
location.
From the Ellis Island to my grandmother's kitchen.
That actually does kind of make sense. It would be like places. Probably not grandma's kitchen though.
I don't know why. This place is our. I don't know. Anyway. Brosplay.
Freaks agent pissed and headed your way.
Well done, brother.
I just wanted to point out. Look at this ticker along the bottom. Look how fucking slow this ticker is. Like, just wait for the next one to come out. It's sort of insufferable to read because it comes out like look how slowly it's moving.
Well, they're assuming that you can't read.
But there's also
quick.
so you have taken over 11 of the 27 tactical locations. Like, you see that as being really laborious.
I'm a bad reader, and that's even slow for me.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, the window's open. I'm sorry. 1 sec.
This bad sound quality. What are we doing here? What is this, amateur hour? Come on. We got to get our producer in on this one. Bring me a buggy.
That hurts the obliques, brother.
My kingdom for a buggy.
You
mean those long muscles along the side?
Is that what they are?
Yeah, the obliques.
Also, by the way, it's amateur hour until what are they called?
Till 9:30.
Oh no, that's not what I was gonna say, but I like that. No, what's the name of that Audible?
Oh, it's amateur hour till Audible sponsors us. That
that
does seem to be the key.
We should just start doing the work.
Advertise for them, and then
I'm sorry. The audio quality on my microphone is gonna be garbage for this whole start because I'm just moving around and shifting things.
Yeah, you just gotta chill out.
I'm sorry. I didn't think things through. I got excited. Too excited.
I think these enemies are actually breaking out through these windows.
Bro, you know what else is? You know who's breaking out?
Who's breaking out?
Fucking I don't know.
Kevin Smith's breaking out.
Kevin Smith? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's already a breakout artist. Anyway, what we should do, you know the joke.
Both and all, I guess.
You know the statement that you're supposed to dress for the job you want, not the job you have?
Yeah.
What if we start just we say officially we're not sponsible by sponsored by we're not sponsible.
I'm not sponsible, but you are.
Always drink responsibly. I'm sorry,
always drink and drive responsibly.
Too loud. We say we're officially not sponsored by Audible. However, you can still, but that doesn't mean that you can't benefit from their $7.95 monthly membership.
Use the promo code GirthGames. It won't work, but put it in.
Don't say the name. We're trying to pretend it never happened. We're burying the old name, right?
That name doesn't exist.
It's the current name now, but it's interesting because we were looking into changing the name, and
he's a big boy.
That's a big guy. He's a big one. But yeah, I started looking back, and I realized Girth Games is on almost nothing. Like it's
not written on anything.
It's not written in videos. We rarely ever say it. It's not. There's no watermark or anything. The only thing we have right now is the actual YouTube watermark, which is something that just it's in the player, not the video. So that can be changed. So it was that was part of why I even came up even started saying, we should change the channel because
we
haven't been saying the name. We've been saying Brosplay more than anything, which is never going away.
And but also can't be the channel name. If you're interested in finding out how many Brosplays there are out there, I dare you to go and count.
I dare.
Because once you get to like 8 or 9, it's just not worth. It's not worth counting all the extra channels.
I double Derek you to check it out.
Oh my! Haven't we gone to a new low?
Those those rubber duckies that you keep throwing out at people, might be a reference to Hitman. Apparently, in Hitman, there's a rubber ducky detonatable explosive.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like an unlockable?
Yeah. I never saw it in Blood Money, because I don't know if it was ever there. It might be. It might be a reference, but apparently it's a hallmark of the old video, of the old games, because you can get it in the newest one. And it's also referenced in the movie. The
Oliphant version?
The Oliphant one, yeah.
Timothy.
Oh, Timothy!
That was a great movie.
That was really good. The other one was really good too. What's it called?
Agent 47? Hitman Agent 47.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah.
Had some clever wordplay.
Very, very different.
I'm
very tired of getting knocked over here.
Aren't we all?
Starting to get on my nerves.
Game
feels very sluggish, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
even for someone who's not playing?
It's because there's too many things happening on the screen. You know, I don't know if this is a direct quote, but somebody asked Activision, how did you manage to make Call of Duty run at a solid 60 frames a second? And they said, we programmed it.
We just fucking made it work.
That is actually as simple as it is. And now I know, I mean, it's a lot like when I was doing freelance graphic design. I'm a good designer, but a lot of my clients are idiots, so my work looks like garbage. There's a lot of developers out there who can only make a living by working for companies that have bad ideas, or who say we need to push the graphical limits of this content, and they're like, yeah, but it feels like garbage. Yes, but people don't talk about frame rates on game trailers. They talk about the graphics.
It's true. That's like well, there's certain features that people care about, and there's certain features that matter, and those aren't always the same things.
Is that red bar the health of that thing?
Yeah.
You might want to work pretty hard on that
Yeah,
Goliath.
I know. Well, he's so much stronger than I thought he was gonna be. I thought I'd bring a UV shotgun because like I already had a rocket launcher, but yeah, this guy is fucking me up.
Yeah,
fortunately,
that worked out really well, but it is. All right, so when something doesn't work like this in this context, when the game doesn't feel good, in the situation where you send this shit at the player, this isn't you setting it to like creating a mod where you double the amount of characters on screen. This is the intended way the game is supposed to be played, and this is a system that doesn't have any variation. This is just a regular Xbox 360. So they knew that would run at garbage, which means they intentionally put out that concept. And so it's one thing when it doesn't work well, but when you make somebody pay for it, I call it atrocious, is what I call it.
Yeah, well, it becomes a decision rather than, there's some games you do your absolute best, they run really well, but sometimes there's frame rate drops. And then there's other games where you can just tell no one really gave a shit if the frame rate was okay.
Dark Souls 3. What a fucking great game. It's like if you watched your favorite TV show behind a fucking murky window. Yeah. It's just terrible. I hate it. I hate the way it runs on the PlayStation 4. It's a $400 piece of equipment playing an $80 game running at 25 frames a second if you're lucky.
That's pretty rough.
It's 30 in a lot of places,
pretty
but
rough.
It's so obvious when it drops, man. It's just like, and it does that in times where you really need the frames to stay consistent, where you're sprinting across a platform with a fucking dude who's as big as Kevin Hart is popular.
There's some Kevin Hart jokes going around today.
You need to get across the catwalk, and the game's just like, well, I hope 10 frames a second is comfortable for you.
Wait, you wanted to cross this catwalk? I thought you wanted to get fucked by the frame rate. That's what I really want.
Are you interested in getting fucked?
Because we have a frame rate for you. This, wow, that was a lot of explosions.
See that right there? Throwing out several proximity mines and slowing down the frame rate, that's acceptable.
Yeah, because it's an unexpected volume that they have to handle all of a sudden.
That being said, extremely good optimizers of games will say, okay, how many mines could be thrown out at the same time, and what does it take to make the game run when all of them are going?
And if the answer is you need to dumb down the graphics, maybe you need to dumb down the graphics.
I would take lower graphics any day for higher frame rate.
Perfect example of that is Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Does it run well?
Probably one of the prettiest and most fluid games of all time. That's why there's so many competitions about it still.
Yeah.
And yet it's like it looks like shit when you imagine it to be realism.
A great example actually is Rainbow Six Siege. The regular multiplayer, the 5v5 runs perfect, 60 frames a second. It's brilliant. It looks so good. It feels great. It feels appropriate to it being a tactical shooter. When you play Terrorist Hunt, which is against like 25 enemies at a time, it constantly runs at 30 frames a second.
Ooh, like it drops then,
like
right?
No, like it was designed around 30.
Oh,
It's crazy. What's weird though is that I went and did a frame rate test, and it turns out it's technically 60 frames, but it feels like garbage. And I don't know what the difference is, but it is a noticeable difference when you're playing.
and it doesn't matter what it actually is; it matters what it feels like.
Yeah. That's why they're always saying. That's why why weather people always say feels like. Because no, seriously, the humidity and the wind, and all variations and shit like that do affect how something actually feels versus what the actual temperature is.
Yeah, sometimes it's 6 degrees out and it feels like it's -10 just because. I mean, if you don't live in Canada, you won't understand this, but sometimes the weather just fucking conspires against you. It's just like a cold, rainy, wet day, but it'll be like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. The way you perceive something is all that matters, though, when it comes to entertainment, doesn't it?
It is that's all entertainment is, perception. I've heard people you love a UFC. I'm not a huge fan. I'm certainly enough of a fan to watch it with you tonight. Who are we watching, by the way?
So the main event tonight will be Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson for the middleweight title.
I'm always a fan of finding parallels and finding out what I was doing when other people were doing shit. But it's so hard to find because a lot of creators don't like to discuss that stuff. So I really want to just make it available out there for people.
What we're up to, what we're into.
Yeah, and because these episodes come out so long after we record them, it's not like we're giving away. Like, we're always talking about things that are happening after or tonight.
Yeah, which, and by the time this video comes out, yeah, it definitely won't be tonight anymore.
But, yeah, I'm not huge into it, but I certainly love that it's available, and I love that it's set up in a way because it could easily be not handled well, the way that a lot of game shows, like hearing from Joe how dangerous what's it called was Fear Factor. He was saying there was times where he was thinking, I cannot believe that nobody died, like things like bungee cords, like people being pulled down on a bungee cord and right above them is a fucking helicopter, like shit like that, where he's thinking like, I cannot believe that that's okay at all. But
yeah, and how a company gets away with that.
Yeah.
Right, because that company is like taking all of that risk.
Yep.
Putting that person out there.
But yeah, anyway, I've actually heard people call it modern day gladiators, but in a negative thing. Like they call it like disgusting or barbaric or something like that. And it's fuck these voices. I'm taking my headphone out. I really don't like that mentality when people just look at something and just immediately make it as they're just like, oh, fucking shallow.
Yeah.
PewDiePie makes millions of dollars playing video games.
It's ridiculous.
Like, just it makes sense when you look at fighting and think that there's something wrong with it because we're taught from like the get-go not to fight people.
It's true. It's sort of counter to civilized world, but
yeah.
I think the cool thing about it is Joe Rogan always explains it in this really nice metaphor where fighting is kind of like a conversation. If you only know like 4 or 5 words, you can make a point, but if some like Sam Harris, Josh Zepps type dude comes along who has all of the words, he's just gonna fucking destroy you. It's the same idea. Like if it's a sport more than it is a conducting of violence. Like, people imagine fighting as, well, you go in there and you just mash each other.
No.
And you do mash each other. That's the point. but it's not like you just go and do it. It's something that takes a lot of skill, and I think that's why it's so cool. Because you know how with hockey or baseball or whatever, you watch it and you know that it matters, but you know it's like, oh, okay, like it's a goal, it's not that big a deal, we can come back from this, we can get a goal of our own.
Yeah.
But if a guy kicks you in the head and then proceeds to ground and pound you, like there's no, we'll get that back.
Yep.
Like it just doesn't work like that. You're down.
And
you're done.
The Rousey Holmes fight, the one that everybody talks about because it was the first real failure of, or not failure, but loss by Ronda in a long ass time since she had been champion. She said she was done from that first head kick. Like after that, she was just trying to keep it together. Like there was really like, and you showed it
earlier
to me.
on in the fight.
Yeah, she said that the first one, like
Wow.
the first head kick was pretty much like up.
Yeah, now I'm done for.
Yeah, because it's jarring. I've bumped my head before and been like, fuck, that hurt. And this person's intent is to hurt you. Am I correct about that first kick?
Which kick?
Would that have made sense? That there was like you actually I'm pretty sure you showed me it. She gets her with a pretty hard like a
head kick?
A head kick, yeah.
And then proceeds to finish her off.
I don't know if it was that one. I could have sworn she said it was the first head kick, but it might have been that one. But anyway, my point here is that she didn't go down; she was still up. So from the perspective of the viewer, especially someone who doesn't know fights, it looks like she just took it. But in her head, she's thinking, "Oh fuck, this is over. I'm just struggling to stay up now."
Yeah, that's actually one thing that you. Woo! I might hang on. I actually kind of wanted to see how high I was gonna fly. God damn it!
Always ruining our fun.
There's one thing that you always have to get used to when it comes to watching fighting, and it's that guys are usually out before they hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't say usually, but it is really common, and you have to sort of look for signs. Like the official ruling on how you decide that a fight's over is when someone stops intelligently defending themselves.
Really?
Which means, yeah. So
whoa.
It doesn't even really have to do, like, you don't have to be unconscious. If the other guy's in a position where he could beat you to death, you know, like if there's no ref there, this guy would just kill you because it's a street fight. That's the point at which a fight stops.
Wow.
Yeah, so you actually have to always be protecting yourself, or you can technically be called out of the fight.
When I first heard about a fight going to decision, which means it's not actually a knockout, I thought that was a silly idea. And then I heard Joe talk about how you just can't have every fight go to knockout. It would be nuts.
And some fights would last like 90 minutes. Like the guys would just be so tired.
Some dudes just don't. They won't go down until you actually knock them out.
And once you get super tired, I mean, knocking someone out sounds really easy. You know, it sounds like, oh, you just mash them in the head and they go down.
Yeah.
But goddamn, you got to get that power to the right spot at the right time when the guy's not paying attention. And
a really common action movie trope is getting hit in the head with a gun. The one thing people don't know, well, a lot of people don't know about guns is how heavy and solid they are. They're made out of solid fucking metal, and they are heavy and they are hard to hold, and they're difficult to even, like, people pull back that trigger so easy. It's not that easy.
You
but
mean
also
the hammer?
Yeah, the hammer, like on a pistol. It's not nearly as easy.
It's true. It people make it seem like it's made out of plastic.
Yeah, and what's because it is in their world.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
true. Actually,
but you can't get hit in the head and get knocked out by a handgun and just be totally cool when you wake up.
No,
Like,
you'd
fucked up.
be concussed.
Oh yeah. I had a small concussion. I had a mild, described as a mild concussion, and I was feeling that until the next day, at least. Probably even longer than that. I don't really remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, people
because I was hit in the head.
Well, you know what? Getting hit in the head, not a good way to go. Not a good way.
No, I'll finish that next time. Thank you for joining us. Next time we configure.
Next time you'll finish your sentence.
Uh-huh.